Are you having fun? No, seriously, I'm for real. I'm asking this question for real. Are you having fun? See, the Browns, they're 3-1 right now. And I'm not here to tell you to not be critical because of that fact, right? I see a lot of that going around where people are like, the Browns are 3-1. Shut your mouth about anything bad about this team. Don't mention anything bad about this team. They're 3-1. Be happy. No, that's not the message I'm here to promote to you today. But I do want to ask you this question seriously, and I do want you to ask yourself this question. Are you having fun? And I know whenever somebody comes here and they talk about football and they dare mention the word fun, there are going to be people here who are going to get mad about that and think that or make it seem like fun is somehow in conflict with success or winning. Winning does not require you to become miserable. That is a lie that miserable people have sold you. It is not required in order for you to have success, in order for you to win. You do not have to be miserable. So when you see people who excuse their overall kind of miserableness. And when I say this, I'm not saying this about people who scrutinize or are critical about certain aspects of the team. I'm more so talking about the people who see a flaw in the team and then, want to fire everybody or trade everybody because of that one flaw in that current game, in that one moment. That's what I would describe as miserable behavior, right? That's not required to win. It's absolutely not. And honestly, it's in conflict with winning. To win and to be successful, there is an element of fun in order to make that happen, because the energy that you can get to win and to do this week in and week out, not just football wise, but in life, does require that you enjoy just a little bit, some parts of what it is that you're consuming yourself with. So when it comes to the people who are going to say that or promote that, I soundly 100% just reject that premise that misery is required for any success. And when I say misery, I don't mean low points or being sad. I'm saying a miserable mindset, looking at things through the worst possible light. That's what I identify as the miserableness. You don't need to be miserable to be successful or to enjoy success. It's honestly contradictory to that, right? Because if you are going to be miserable about the team, you're really not going to enjoy the success. And if you hear some of these Browns fans talk about a 3-1 team, you'll see exactly what I mean when I talk about people who aren't really enjoying any level of success. When your team is losing, right? When the Browns stunk for so many years, what did everybody say? I just want them to be competitive. I just want them to be 500. Now, again, that's just misery setting the bar low in some aspects. You should never just want to be 500 or anything like that. But the overall ideal of that thought is you want your team to win because losing is no fun. It's not fun entertainment when your team loses and stinks all the time. It's not fun to be a part of, and you have to go through weird lengths to make that fun when you're doing it, like throwing a 0-16 parade, right? Because you just need to have a little bit of fun with whatever it is that you're doing. It's not fun to lose. It sucks to lose. But what is the point of winning if winning's not going to bring you any joy or fun either? One point I want to really bring home here is the ideals of being skeptical and critical about your team and fun. Those are not mutually exclusive. You can have both at the same time. I can sit here and say, Baker Mayfield played miserable on Sunday, or X player inserted here had a really bad game. There was a dreadful performance here. There was a dreadful effort here. This was a bad loss. Whatever it is that comes up in this season, you can acknowledge that, be critical of that, but you still can have fun if your team wins or if your team does something else that's really positive in that direction. They are not mutually exclusive. The ideals of criticism and fun are not mutually exclusive. Any criticism of your favorite player is not hatred of your favorite player. It's just criticism. If somebody points out that Baker Mayfield has not looked the best the last couple of weeks, that's not hating on him. That's the absolute truth about what Baker Mayfield has put together. That also doesn't mean that you go in the 100% other direction, which is since Baker Mayfield has had 2 less than perfect games, you want to trade him or bench him. My point is, you can point out that a player had a bad game. You can even laugh at it, because at some point, Baker's performance was so bad this Sunday that it was almost comical. Like, some of these misses were just like comically out of character for him, to the point to where you got to have a little bit of fun with it. That doesn't mean you can't still enjoy a 3-1 record. And again, on the other side of that coin, having fun and enjoying a 3-1 record does not require that you lie to yourself or become completely dogmatic about the Cleveland Browns just because you want to enjoy Victory Monday or get rid of all the haters or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good to just completely shut yourself out of any criticisms of this team just because you catch yourself wanting to enjoy something. There is room for criticism. There is room for optimism. There is room for skepticism. There is room for all of this when it comes to enjoying your team. I just pointed 2 sides of a coin out. In between that coin is a gulf, a giant amount of space where we can fit all of that extra stuff in, where we can have more nuanced opinions about the Cleveland Browns, both good and bad. And quite frankly, that gap, that size, that gulf of nuance is horribly underutilized at times. And I'm not trying to sit here and act holier than thou. I know I'm guilty of overreacting in the past or even in the moment, right? On a live stream, I might overreact to something. And I get it, right? Especially watching football in this era, right? The always online era, where there is always somebody who is willing to troll you or always willing to attack your football insecurities, always willing to yell the dumbest take possible about your team from the top of the mountain, right? There is always somebody who is going to be willing to do that, and now they always have access to you. And I hear people say, well, delete your Twitter or turn off your phone in response to some of these things, but it's really not that simple anymore, right? You can't just delete your Twitter or turn off your phone for multiple reasons, but also just because it's basic human nature, whether it be good or bad, to desire interactions on things that you're passionate about. Why else do you think 70,000 people cram themselves into a football stadium each week to watch a football game that, quite frankly, the experience is much better at home on a television screen watching by yourself? Because we crave that interaction. Why do you think people watch my watch party with me live when I'm doing the games? Because people want that interaction about things that they are passionate about. And it's not a bad thing to want that interaction. It's very natural, and it's not something that needs to be suppressed. I'm not here to wag my finger at fans and say they are too negative or to offer a insultingly simple solution that just isn't even practical. I want fans to be informed. I want fans to have informed conversations about the teams that they love. And in those conversations, there's room for optimism, there's room for skepticism, and there's room for satire. All three can exist at the same time while you're still enjoying this team. And I get it. Online, it becomes tough because maybe you're having a real conversation with another Browns fan, but then a Raven fan jumps in and starts trolling you. Sometimes, and this is a tough one a lot of us have to admit, sometimes a Raven fan or a fan of any other rival team or team you're going to play comes in there and they drop a little bit of a banger of a Baker Mayfield joke or whatever kind of joke it is about your team. And I get the instinct for a lot of you guys is to write like a 3-page essay on why that guy's wrong and to take that joke completely serious, or to respond by just trolling back and using the same old tired, overused jokes and inaccurate memes. But again, does that really make your enjoyment of the team any better when you engage in all that stuff? Honestly, sometimes the friends that I'm with, and you guys know I do AFC North talk. I'm friends with Engraven. I'm friends with a lot of Raven fans, Steelers fans, Bengals fans, all over the place that do this for a living. And sometimes in a group message, somebody drops a Baker Mayfield joke. It's kind of funny, and I just have to laugh at it and move on with my day instead of endlessly debating the small print of a joke. And I get that some people are going to hear that and go, oh my God, why are you going to let somebody win? Why are you going to let somebody dunk on you? The question that I want you to ask instead is, before you do the angry, bitter response, ask yourself, is this fun? Is this enhancing my understanding or enjoyment of this football season? Is this making this season better for me to interact or to react in the ways that I am doing right now? Is this fun? Because honestly, if the way that you're taking in this season and consuming the content around it or interacting with other fans with this season is making it so that a 3-1 record at the end of September and being tied for first place, and let's not forget the Steelers are in dead butt booty last place. If ain't none of that fun right now for you as a Browns fan, then you really have to ask yourself, when is any of this going to be fun? And if the way that you're currently intaking this season makes all of that no fun, then you might want to change how you're taking in this season just a little bit. I'm not saying this to tell fans to shut up and not be critical. I want you guys to be critical. I want you guys to have your own opinions. I want you to be skeptical, and I want you guys to be well informed about this football team. That is my main goal when I turn on this camera, record every single day to put out content, is to help Browns fans be more skeptical and more informed about the team that they love. That's why I do AFC North talk, so we can get other perspectives, realistic perspectives from other teams. It's why I do all of this stuff, why I try to bring in people who cover different teams, so we're not just hearing a Browns fan's perspective 24/7 on this channel. I think having an informed knowledge about what this team is doing well and what they're not doing and what other teams are doing well and who we realistically match up well with, I think that's all fun. Skepticism, criticism, and optimism all together, it's all fun at the end of the day. And I want you to have fun at the end of the day. This should be fun. We root for our favorite teams because watching them win and having a chance to be the best at what it is that they do is just fun. And if it's not fun the way you're currently watching the season, what can you do to make this more enjoyable for yourself? Because it should be fun. We've went through 20 years of misery with this football team. We have stunk way too long for this team to be good and people to be miserable about it. Enjoy it, because we don't know how long this is going to last, that we're going to have a team where being 3-1 and disappointed is something you can actually be. We don't know how long we're going to have that. We don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know how long we're going to keep some of these guys on the roster, but what we do know is what we have right now. And while there is room for criticism, skepticism, and optimism all together, there is also room to have fun. And that's the most important thing I don't want people to lose sight of. You want to have fun right now, because right now is the time to have fun. So be critical, be skeptical, be optimistic as all hell, but also just have fun. And I've noticed through Twitter and the comment sections and the live chats and everything else that it seems like there is a larger absence of fun this year than in years previous. And that concerns me, because I just want everybody here to have fun at the end of the day. But that's all I got to say. Again, guys, thank you for letting me go on this little rant. I hope you picked up the right things from it. And I hope that at the end of the day, you guys just start to have just a little bit more fun with this season. But that's it.